Alright, so this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk to you about my modified surf stance. I'm old. I'll be 76 in 20 days. I weigh about 230 pounds. I ride sometimes smaller boards, or I ride big boards. But this is the stance that I have found to be the absolute most comfortable in all situations. Rough water, normal water, flat water. I use the same stance for everything. In my videos, I pick up a lot of footage of other people using their stance, and I'm using the ones that in this, not everybody suffers the same thing with a wider stance, but I'm using examples that are easier to show what it is that I'm talking about as wide versus narrow stance. So take it for what it's worth, but this stance is worth thinking about, and try it out and see what you think. This is the standard parallel stance that is taught in almost every SUP class in the world. To me, it feels very unstable and awkward. Because being a surfer, I adopt the modified surf stance, which is I move it a little closer to the handle. I take my back foot and I turn it out to the rail just a little bit. And what that does is that gives me forward and back stability. I can now lean forward and backward without falling over. With your feet parallel, you have side-to-side stability, but you don't have any way of moderating your forward and back movement, whereas this does give me that. Ah, jeez. Well, see, that's why my fore and aft footing, if I was parallel stance there, I would have dumped. And to me, it's a much more stable, much more comfortable. This is so natural for me. And notice that my feet are fairly close to the center of the board. If your feet are way out on the rails and you bobble to the right, your rail's going to go down, then it's going to come up, then you're going to go left, then you're going to go right, then you're going to go left. All right, so you move your feet into the middle of the board. And when you lean on either side, the correction, you don't push the board underwater. The volume of the board, the foam, floats. So when you push it under, its natural reaction is to fly back to the surface. And when it does that, it throws you all the other way. If you stand close to the handle with your feet in narrower stance, it's actually much more stable. Even in the surf, I mean, this is how I stand in the surf. I stand just like this. Even in choppy, I got a narrow stance. It's the most stable. A little front to back, a little side to side, not a lot of overplay. Look at this. This is 1.5 foot cross chop here. I call it the modified surf stance, but it's definitely worth learning. When you run into choppy conditions or waves, it's a much easier and more stable stance than wide 1 foot out on each rail with your feet in parallel.